And don't you ever in your life have my daughter sitting in your uncle's lap again, dude.
First of all, don't you ever in your motherfucking life come at me like that.
What you mean, dude?
That made me uncomfortable, Mom.
You heard what she said, man?
Don't sit down, that's your uncle.
What you mean that's her? Listen, don't let my, listen, don't.
Okay, we always seen the fuck right there. What is you on?
Don't let my daughter sit on no man lap. What is your problem, man?
Oh no, what the fuck is you on with me and my uncle? Why'd you over-sexualizing that
That's
shit?
my daughter.
We all seen right there. Like, what the fuck is you on?
She's a girl. She shouldn't be sitting on no man lap. What are you talking about?
You was tripping, man, for real.
How am I tripping, dude? I don't play that. I'm
because that shit is crazy as a motherfucker.
I don't play that, dude. Seriously, dude, I do not play that, dude. For real, dude. Don't let that shit happen again. I don't see how, why can't you understand? Why can't you see it how I see it?
Okay, and why the fuck is you talking to me like that, though?
Because you let my daughter sit on another man's lap.
Okay, but what
I
the
don't give a fuck.
Okay, I'm not your motherfucking child, though.
Listen, don't let it happen again.
Talking to me like you lost your motherfucking
She already
mind.
said she felt uncomfortable. You're not gonna listen to your daughter? You're not gonna listen to her? That's what I'm saying, dude. That shit pissing me off, man. I ain't got time for this, dude. Come on, let's go, baby.
All right. Welcome to Grown Men Talking Incorporated. We are real talk, real life situations. Make sure you share. If you're enjoying your time on here, please go ahead and subscribe and like. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour, where we will be talking about the stolen inheritance. So we will be here live. Tune in. And also, we have going on. We're accepting spaces. We have 3 spaces left for anyone that want to break their silence during Domestic Violence Month, October 5th through the 26th. So make sure that y'all tune in. And now we're going to hand it over to our host, Dwight.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Grown Man Talking. I am your host, Dwight, and I hope y'all having a good Friday and shoot, an even better weekend. What we gonna talk about? Before we talk about, let me bring in. Well, I see my assistant is already. Well, she flew off the screen. But let me bring in King D first. King D, come on in the house, brother.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, brother? What's up, King D?
I'm chilling.
Yeah, I feel it.
I gotta cut my camera off because I'm doing something and I don't want to exploit nobody.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Cut it off. Cut it off.
I'm gonna cut the camera off.
Okay.
But I can hear.
And also, we're gonna bring in as a special guest to talk about this topic. Assistant host Tanise.
Hi.
All right. How you doing there, Tanise? Now I saw Mr. Jones looking on the screen, so let's also welcome in Mr. Jones. He finally made it too. So, Mr. Jones, if you all still up, yeah, we see you going around.
What up, broski? What's happening?
I'm glad you made it to the show. You know, I'm glad everybody's here because this is something that talk about.
I'm running down the street in flip flops, making sure I get here on time.
All right. Now, since we all here, I know everybody probably didn't see that video, but I'm gonna start off. As a man, I agree with the young man. That's old school. I don't believe letting my daughter or any child should sit in no grown man's lap. It just don't look right. I don't care if it's an uncle. I don't care if it's a cousin. I don't really care who it is. Like I have a daughter. I wouldn't want my daughter, well, she's grown now, but I wouldn't want my daughter sitting in no grown man's lap. It just don't look right. And the way it is, how old school, just like myself, you don't know what's in the mind of most people. Not saying every man or every uncle or grandfather is like that, but you just have people in their mind that's thinking things and just doing things. And I agree 100%. You just don't do that. So, King D, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about your daughters sitting in some man lap? Doesn't matter if your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your friend. How do you feel about that?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm not really in the business of over sexualizing things,
right?
But like if it's a stranger,
mm-hmm.
like just a random person or something like that. Like I have two older brothers, and my oldest brother spoils the heck out of my daughter. So he used to hold her all the time, all this stuff all the time. I don't think like when she was a baby, I didn't think that I didn't think like that because I know my brother.
Right.
So I don't now if it's just like a random person or something like that, then no, like or a friend. I don't let my friends do it, but my eldest brother, he's just
Well, yeah,
not
because
like
y'all so close that you just know each other, and your daughter never, because she never complained about your brother doing anything or stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if she in the video,
In the video.
oh yeah, in the video that we was looking at, he said that the guy said that the little girl said she felt uncomfortable. So
Yes.
that's something's going on. Then you get
Yes,
to
it
remove
is.
your daughter, and but so that's something's going on. Then you get to remove your daughter, and but so that's something going on.
That's some echoing. Somebody need to check the.
I got you.
Okay. Where we at? Denise, let's go to you. How do you feel about that video?
Well, I agree with the dad, 100% because I did see the video, even though I missed it on here. But I did see the video. I agree with him 100% because it is the daughter said it. Even the mom wasn't listening because she was still focused on herself.
Right.
The daughter even said she was uncomfortable. So at this point, this child should not be exposed to her brother,
Right.
the uncle. The mother's dead wrong. It's just, and personally, I don't believe in having young. After a certain age, I don't think you should be having your children be sitting on your lap in the first place.
Okay. Let's go over here to Matt Jones if he's able. It's Matt. This is Matt.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little static on your end, but I think we can work through it. How do you feel about, you have a daughter. Would you let your daughter, now they're grown, but will you let your daughter sit in your brother's lap or uncle's, cousin, or friend? How do you feel about your daughter sitting in a man's lap? Or did you allow that?
I didn't allow that. I mean, I understand that that's their uncles and things of that nature. I just didn't allow it because I felt like I was training them. So I can't tell them it's okay here, but it's not okay there. It's not okay across the board for me. Now, you can go hug your uncle, kiss on them, play, whatever. But sitting on his lap, that's just something I didn't.
You wasn't going for it. And I want to say this.
Not at all.
With King D, he knows his brother very well, and that's a good thing because in a lot of families, and I'm gonna keep it real. In a lot of families, you had little girls or boys sitting in uncles or cousin lap, and a lot of uncles out there was predators. They was things going to their mind. They're getting aroused because the child is sitting in their lap, and like I said, I'm from the old school. My father, he raised us up. He's very protective of us. And of course, when grown folks talk, kids are not allowed in the room. So, but when I was in the next room, I could still hear my father talk. And he said, "I'll be damned. I don't care who it is. Ain't my children, especially my daughters, is not sitting in the man's lap." Because back then, certain things just happen. And you hear certain stories. I heard certain stories as a kid growing up while so-and-so and them got into it, while the police was at so-and-so in them house. Because when some men, especially fathers, that's very protective, but they say, "Negro, I would kill you behind mine," you better believe that. Because that's what I would do too. I don't play when it comes to mine. I don't play that sitting in the lap and everything, but it's a good thing to have trust. I had a neighbor over here. I'm not gonna mention her name, but she came over and talked to me, and we was talking about certain things about like this. And she said when she was a little girl, she used to lay on the floor in some shorts watching TV, and her uncle or whoever used to say, "Hey, come and sit in my lap." And when she did that, and he's sitting there rocking her back and forth, she said she could feel that pressure in those pants coming up, and she felt very, very uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of fathers will not allow their children to sit in men's lap. You know, now I believe I had somebody say, "What about the women?" You know, well, you know, women can be do the same things as men, I guess, but I think men a lot of them have more of that out there than they do. Have y'all ever, Mr. Mack? Have you ever came across anybody in your lifetime that might have had a daughter or something that sat in somebody's lap and they're very uncomfortable with it? Was the child very uncomfortable?
I can't say I've experienced that myself, and thank God for that, because I think that it would have been a terrible outcome had that came across my ears.
Yeah, yes, it would have. I'm with you on that now. King D, I know you let your brother, but have you heard any stories? Not in your family, but have you heard anybody outside your family, a friend, or anybody that might have had experienced this?
Has experience with. I had to switch headphones, so I missed a little bit.
Like if you knew a friend that might have had a daughter or so forth, and they sat in the family member's lap or a friend's lap, that the child felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely have happened.
Mm.
Like it was a situation that was. I know you said friend or whatever, but it actually
Right.
happened in my family to one of my sisters. Right.
Oh.
Hold on one second. What, George? Yeah, I didn't mean. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. King D's at work.
Hold on.
While King D's you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my sisters had that situation happen with a who was supposed to be a father figure of hers,
Right.
and it just turned bad. It was but we just found out he actually was molesting her. We just found out.
Wow.
She finally came out with it. But my one of my aunts was calling it over the years. My auntie was like, he messed with her, but nobody, because she was the alcoholic auntie, nobody believed her. So finally, yeah. And so every time she was around, get my niece out your lap. Get my niece out your. She would act a fool because she knew, like, she saw what everybody else didn't see, and so finally it came out maybe 6 months ago. Then she was like, yeah, he actually because we was talking. I ain't gonna lie, we was talking crazy,
right?
And she was like, that looked like so and so's private part, and we was like, why would you? How do you know how his private part looked? And she was like, yeah, that happened. And me and my other sister was like, why you never told nobody? And she was just like, because nobody was gonna believe me anyway. But yeah, that happened. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what happened to him? Did he go to jail? Did he get in trouble for that? I mean, what happened to him?
Not on her situation. He didn't go to jail because she just mentioned it. But he's already in prison for another situation. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Damn. Well, he's where he needs to be. That's where he needs to be, in prison. Yeah. Even though it was something else, but still, that's where he needs to be, because something like that, that's where you need to go. Did you know anybody, or anything that might have came across that a child sat in somebody's lap and the child wasn't comfortable and word got out, and have you had anybody that you might know that been through that?
Yes, I do. Okay. I absolutely do. One of my sisters. With my biological father. And he, I remember as a little child, he would have her sit on his lap, and I couldn't understand why, because I was young. I was probably maybe about 5, but I could see the uncomfortableness on her face. And she was quite young herself. My sister, she wasn't even a teenager yet. And he would have her sit on her lap. In the car, he would, the old trucks.
Yeah.
With the gear in the middle. He would have her sit right there and have her leg. He would never let us sit next to him. He would have her sit there where he could change the gear and have the gear in between her legs and stuff like that craziness. But I've witnessed that he had her sitting on the lap and he was,
her. The older sister, right?
Huh?
You said it was your older sister?
I said it was my sister. I wasn't trying to pinpoint anybody.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it was where he had her sitting on his lap, and we used to have a general store, and all his old pervert friends would come over, and he would be parading her like sitting on his lap.
Wow, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what I'm talking about, and see that the thing is with this, when you just said to me, this happens a lot in the family.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm saying because you hear this a lot, and it's usually an uncle, a dad, and you hear this a lot about a lot of these young children or young girls being molested by their own father.
Well, unfortunately, in this case, I'm put it out like this: she's not his daughter, but she's my sister, my mother's daughter.
Oh, okay, I see, and this is why we, you just have to be careful. And another thing is you have to listen to the children, because if children tell you they feel uncomfortable or if they're acting a certain way, you just got to pay attention, because you just don't know what might be going on in their house. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just don't know, and you just have a lot of cases like that, and a lot of it comes from within the family. And I have talked to certain people, even a few exes, and most of them had that same experience. And I was shocked, because I come from a family that's very protective. My father would kill, my uncle would just take you out if you did something like that. But people I ran across with in my life had said the same thing. It's like I was just like, wow, because you just heard everybody was different, but they had that same story.
Yeah, same story from different people.
Yeah, and it was from a father, an uncle, a grandfather, or maybe a close friend. And my mind was just blown to see, to hear that this goes on a lot, especially in the own family. And it's just crazy. I mean, it just got me just speechless, just speechless most of the time. But I want to say this, Mr. Jones, what would you do if you found out that someone in your family was doing something like that to your daughter? How would you handle something like that?
Hey, you gotta go. I don't care who it is. It would have been my daddy, my granddaddy, my uncle, my brother, my cousin. You got to go. My kids couldn't come and tell me nothing like that, because listen, I'll go ahead and make me a permanent bed, and you know where I'm talking about. And so it ain't nothing else to be said, because it's cracking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go through that with you. I'm gonna go and get you up out of here. You ain't gonna never take my kids down that road and think you're gonna live to get away with it. And that's just the bottom line. I'm not that type of person, and I don't condone that for no child. I think no child should be robbed of their innocence like that.
And what gets me is, for all these nice, big thighs, big booty women out here, why you got a mind to mess with an innocent child? You got all these women out here you can talk to or try to get with. Well, damn, even if you can't get nobody, they got girls out there you can pay. So I really don't understand why a grown man will look at an innocent child. I guess maybe that's why, because they're innocent and they can manipulate them, and the child be too scared to say anything. But it just makes me think with all these women out here. Well, I hear the music playing, so y'all stay tuned. So we will be back in 2 and 2.
He made me sit on his lap. I was 6 years old, and I was not comfortable, and I thought it was weird because I had sat on my dad's lap, but it was different. As I was sitting on his lap, he started moving around a lot, and then eventually he scratched my upper inner thigh as he was trying to force his hands into the side of my shorts. I remember he let me up, or I popped down at some point and went in the kitchen with my aunt and just sat at the table, and I was crying because I was burning. He had scratched my skin and it was sensitive and raw. I remember one time when I was 9, when he pulled me into the bed with him, and he was completely undressed, and my aunt was having a baby shower. She was hosting a baby shower, and she had given me a piece of cake, and she said, take this into the room to your uncle. And I took it into the room. The room was dark, like his room always was, and as I entered the room, he leaned over and grabbed me, pulled me into the bed, took the plate. He was kind of spooning me, and he was completely... I just started praying, and then my aunt walked in, and she said, oh, silly me, I'm so sorry. I'm sending June in here with dessert, and you didn't even eat yet. I forgot. So she had followed behind me, and the room is dark, and mind you, she can't hear. So if she can't see something, and then because of the abuse, I think maybe she saw less than she really saw. You know, I think she was very fearful. I kind of was kicking, and he let me go. I slipped out of the room while my aunt was still talking to him and handing him his plate. And I went in my cousin's room, and I got in the closet, and I laid on the floor. And eventually, when the party was over and I knew they were in the bed, I got in the bed and I just wrapped up in the cover. And then the next day, when my aunt took me home, I told my parents I wasn't going back over there anymore. And then when I turned 12, I don't know, I started processing things differently. And at some point, I knew that what was going on was egregious and just horrific. And my uncle was still coming over, and he would peek his head in the room and say, hey, beautiful, and then go about his business. And so one night when I was 12 years old, my mom was in the front room, and I went in the front room. We had a sunken dining room, so I went down the steps and I said, why did you keep sending me over there, and why did you let my uncle do this to me? She closed her book. She said, what are you talking about? And I said, I had blood and discharge in my panties, and you continue to send me over there. And she told me, don't tell your father, because you don't want him to go to jail for killing your uncle. So I never told my dad until I was like 30 years old, when my uncle was already deceased. What she did do was sent me to Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's to a therapist that week, and it might have been the next day. I'm in the office with a male therapist. I'm sitting on a couch with my little shorts on, appropriately dressed for a 12-year-old, and he reaches over. I'm in a reclining chair, and he rubs my legs, one of my legs, and says, you have beautiful legs. And I just kind of sat there. I was afraid, because I was in the room with the person that was supposed to help me feel better. He asked me questions. I answered the questions. He asked me just really basic questions. How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. I answered all the questions. He gave me a big king-size candy bar. And when I got home, I said I didn't want to go anymore. So I didn't. But I never said what happened, because what was the point? When I was 16 years old, my uncle came over and peeked his head in my bedroom and said something. It wasn't anything mean, but it was triggering.
All right. We now want to thank everyone over there on both pages of Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube and Instagram as well for tuning in. If you're enjoying this topic, please go ahead and share, and also like. Also, just make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we speak about stolen inheritance. So we will be back tomorrow to speak on this topic here. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it back over to Dwight.
Thank you, Spicy. Tell King D we can hear him in the kitchen. Hold
on.
Hey, what you in the kitchen doing, bro?
I was washing dishes.
Yeah.
Busting them suds.
King D back there busting us. I'm like, Spicy minute till he get through busting those suds. So he's back there working. King D is at work. I applaud King D because he's working. He's a hard worker, and he's here on the show. I appreciate that, because he could have, not even be here. Because King D, if y'all don't know, he's a young man. This man works and he works and he works. I applaud him. I wish a lot more young men was like him, because the boy take care of his business. Now to that video we saw, I mean, You know, it says it right there. It says a mouthful. You know, these young men are still here King Dean dishes. King Dean,
Oh my God! Hold on, let me mute it. I tried to put water down and everything.
Hey, you wait a minute. Where did you get some water from with Valium on it?
Hey, yeah,
You
I'm
said
like, oh.
no. I tried to turn like I tried to make it where it was barely drizzling now, and you still heard it.
Yeah, that part.
Hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Hey, I feel you on that. But that video we saw, you know, about the young lady telling her story. That's what a lot of young women go through. You know, you know, in the family, she was being molested by her uncle, and her mom knew about it, and the mom just didn't want no. She didn't want no heat. She didn't want the father to know because most men, like I said, they said they kill you behind their child. They mean that, and the mama knew, but she still should have did something to help her child. She should have at least let her child go over there. And then when the child went to go get help by the therapist, and you know, now she said she had shorts on. She was dressed her age. Now I know therapists will help, but when they're supposed to go in there and rub on your leg, this is a child. So why are you over there rubbing on her leg? You can talk to her and do things, but what is it about you rubbing on her leg? So
she got issues too.
Well, yeah, he got issues. We just live in a world that is, I don't know, it leads me speech to know about a grown man and they look at these kids as sex objects. I mean, I have never really sat down and talked to a man or a person that does it. I would like to talk to somebody and say, what is it that make you want to do something? Like, you got all these grown women out here, curves, beautiful, got big chop, everything, but you want to mess with a child.
First of all, a sick person would never admit that they're sick.
Right.
So all they're gonna do is deny it.
You're right.
And you know, it's a very sick world we live in, because you know, if y'all notice that it's becoming more and more common where people are coming out, oh, I was molested, or I'm this you know, people are, I mean, hold on.
Can't do really that, boy. You getting it?
But,
But welcome to King D Suds and Duds.
Go ahead, King D. Oh, he's on mute. There you go.
Okay. No, I was trying to mute his conversation. But yeah, it's becoming more and more common where people are being, you know, saying that they've been molested, and it's like the not the victims, but the perpetrators are getting younger and younger.
Yeah,
I know a 20-year-old that done did a 4-year-old, like, and he actually penetrated this little boy, and was doing it for a while. But he had multiple counts. Like, the little boy, he was 4, but he could state how many times it actually happened. This is some sick. That's sick.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. But yeah,
4 years old.
Yes.
That's it.
The crazy part is that it will sometimes it's just generational. It's just do what happened to them.
Yeah. A revolving door.
Yeah, repeating it. Because there's no way you should find a little girl or a little bitty boy or a baby, a toddlers, attractive. There's no way.
Yeah, that's absolutely no way. I've been in a situation. Teresa Dwayne, I've been in a situation, and the only reason why I'm still walking this earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still walking the free world is because of Teresa.
Yeah, it was.
Lord, talk me down because I was ready to go to jail. Do you hear me? I was ready to go to prison.
Mr. Mac, what's your thoughts about that video that we just saw?
Me personally, I think that like King D just said, I mean, what's the talk about? Like, really, what? I mean, for us that are legally sane, that we can't get no checks, no nothing. They ain't gonna give us nothing, right? Mm-hmm. What is there to talk about this? Like, what? I mean, we are having a conversation about this, and I'm not trying to say it that way. But what I'm saying is, you don't get no pass with me. You're not going to get a pass with me concerning the child. I don't care if this was the worst child on the planet. This could have been a demon seed. You still don't do nothing to that seed, man. Leave that baby alone.
Yeah, you're right.
If that baby go into hell, let that baby go to hell on its own. You don't help yourself to that baby.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And it's just like Denise was saying. You know, it's sad, but you got women out. I mean, you got women, and these men. Like Denise said, it can be it can be like it happened to them. You know, maybe their parents or his father, mama molesting him, and now he repeating the same cycle. He's doing it, and it's a lot of cases that that does happen. But why you gonna take your pain and things you went through and put it on somebody else? You should seek and get help or do something. You know. You know how you felt as a child that you didn't feel good. You know it felt wrong and you felt miserable from that. So why would you project that on somebody else's, especially somebody in your family or whatever? Why would you do that to a child? Which is just blows my mind. And
it alters the child's mind. It alters their minds. Their minds will be forever altered. Even though it may not show up right away, but it will show up. It might show up when they're toddlers and going to elementary school and they touch other little children, or it may show up the bad choices in marriages and stuff and dating and stuff. All because you could not just be an uncle, you could not be that good mom, you could not be that great dad. You have to be the devil himself. You have to be hurting these children and not thinking the consequences is going to happen behind them and mental well-being.
And see, Tanisha, you're right because you're absolutely right because this action here that these people do to these kids, it can mess them up so they have certain behaviors at school and they act a certain way. And they don't know, and it's like nobody's listening to them, so they act out, and they're like, "But so and so is bad, or so and so doing this." Well, so and so is getting molested at home, but ain't nobody listening. And this is why they sometimes kids act that way and they act like that, and it's just sad that, like I said, that we live in this world that children's not even safe in their own home, not in their own home.
The children ain't straight and safe nowhere, not at school, because you got teachers, predator teachers.
Did y'all hear about that? Did y'all hear about that? The one the other day, that person at LBJ, the teacher at LBJ, the new hire teacher, he was in an inappropriate relationship with a student. This was just last week or a week before.
How old was the student?
The student was a junior in high school, no, sophomore, and he was a teacher.
And how old was he? Did they say how old he was?
He was 37.
That's dang.
Wow.
And I don't know what happened, but she went and told her parents. You know, after a while, she went and told them.
Well, wait a minute. So she was involved in him for a little bit, then she
they was together for a while. They was in a full blown relationship. Well, I guess I'm sure he didn't do something she wanted, and then she went and told her parents, and that she was messing with him, and it was a mess. It's a big old mess over there, and that's the second one at LBJ High School.
Wow.
They have one right here over here at Stony Point. Do I remember?
Yeah, I remember Stony Point. Yes, I do. I do remember.
The male teacher. No, it was a female teacher and a male teacher at one point.
Yeah. I mean,
15, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
What, like Dwight said, what switch do you have in your mind to say, "Oh, she a bad little 15-year-old"?
Yeah, I don't get that. I really don't get what it is in these sick men head and a couple of women head that look at a child and just say, "Yeah, I want that." I just
they have nothing to offer.
I mean, besides they fantasy. I don't know what it is. Is it a fantasy to you to sleep with a child? Is it because you can manipulate the child? You can. I mean, maybe you got a small thing and it looks bigger going between the child. I mean, I don't.
What the hell?
I just don't get that because the thinking of their mind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous.
But you also got to remember, okay, there's one part we did not touch on, and I think this is a part too of it. You know, porno films, adult movies, and things like that. They in a lot of those old school and mid school, and they probably still do. I don't know. I don't look at stuff. Always have these women in little girl or high school playing that fantasy of a little girl or a teenage boy, and these, and they do whatever they're gonna do, pretending that they're high school. Oh, I haven't finished high school yet. I don't know if I'm ready. Crazy stuff like that. So these nut jobs go out there looking for this fantasy.
I got a question though.
Hey, well, I'm gonna say this, Mr. Jones. If they made a law, say for instance, they made a law of saying that if a man is caught molesting a child, then his thing should be cut off. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, indubitably.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what, Mr. Jones, I agree with you.
I agree, and I agree that a woman, I agree that a woman should be cemented clothes as well. So
Yeah, I agree. If they made a law like that, I agree. It should be chopped off. They think need to be chopped off, and she need to be sold up. If they out here doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Now, Denise, how do you feel about that? You think a man his thing should be chopped off, and he's caught with a child doing things he's not supposed to be doing?
I think King D had a question as well.
Oh, okay. But King D, go ahead with that question.
I was just messing with Denise. She was saying the what she see on the porno, and I was like, Teresa, how do you know that?
I've seen porno back in the day.
You telling it on yourself?
No, not Denise. I know you didn't watch no porno movie. No, not
you. He brought it in the house. It was there.
Oh, but if he brought it in the house, who told you to watch it?
You put it on the TV.
So he put it on the TV.
Yeah, you put it on TV.
Who you saying? I put it on TV.
You.
When did I put some porno on some damn TV?
Okay, this is a little bit too much for my ears, people. Let's keep this going now. Let's keep this going.
This is talking about the party we have a bunch of. So to me, that's the party we had, girl. It wasn't me that bought it. Roy bought it there.
I know it was Roy.
Yeah, Roy bought it there. I didn't put that on Roy there, but people. But anyway,
y'all named.
That's my question, Denise. Denise, will you agree if a man do that, should his thing be cut off?
It ain't gonna make a difference.
They got fingers.
Oh yeah, it'll make a big difference. It'll make a big difference.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
A man volunteered because he couldn't stop his obsession of raping little boys and little girls.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and got castrated and got his little thing cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't hurt the children. But he said it didn't work. He still went out and did things to them.
Okay, well, that's not going to stop his hands. Well, if he do something with his hands, then his hands go next. If he do something with his tongue get cut off. So if you ain't got no tongue, no hands, there ain't much he can do.
They're not going to do all that. That's
I would.
They wouldn't do that.
That person better off just be dead. If he get out,
look, they in prison or something.
Well, Dominique, how you feel about that? You think they things should be cut off if they out here poking where they shouldn't be poking?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. They hands, they toes, whatever they use.
Or it should be mandatory where they take a shot to make them, not
lose the
yeah.
They can't do nothing.
What
yeah,
you
I heard about that shot.
Yeah.
It's an actual real shot. Out here in the world, they will do that.
They should make a law for that. I mean, I'll vote in a minute. Oh, well, we're gonna be back. Well, we're gonna be back in 2 or 2, y'all. Hey, have anybody out there that want to call in? If you have any experience about this, if something happened to you or you know somebody, call us. Let us know. But we be back. Okay.
Why you never did nothing or said anything about Uncle Tony touching on me when I was 7? I had told you this story plenty of times. And you never did anything about it.
That's because kids be lying.
What are you talking? I was bleeding.
You lie a lot too. You used to lie like a motherfucker, bro. And I asked him.
You asked him and you believed them.
I asked him. I said, did you touch my daughter? He said, no. Why would I do shit like that? And I believe him. That's my brother. He ain't got to lie to me.
I'm 18 and I'm still telling you the same
exact
story.
That's my brother. He ain't got to lie to me.
I'm 18 now and I'm telling you the same exact story.
I'm not going to listen to no little ass kid over my brother.
Are you kidding? But you seen the proof. We never tried to take me to the hospital or anything. I told you I was in pain. I told you it hurted. And you never even tried to do anything. You or mom. Y'all never tried to do anything about it. Now y'all got me at this family function up here. I'm tired of this. Like, the whole world is about to know. I'm tired of this. What do you mean? When it happened? When I was bleeding, I was only 7.
Come on now.
I was 7 and he was
lying,
like 30.
You was lying, bro. That man, you know damn well.
I'm 18 now. Look how he looks at me. Like that, you don't see how he looks at me when we're outside. You act like you ignore it.
His niece. He happy to see you. We know we don't be around like that, bro.
No, I don't trust him.
Come on, man.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Grown Men Talking Incorporated. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on Pacific Standard Time, it'll be 5 p.m. But make sure you tune in, as they will bring you a spicy topic and a discussion for you to join in on. And also, do not forget, we have 3 slots left open for October. If you want to stand your ground and break your silence, also to help others that may be out there suffering through domestic violence or any type of abuse, please tune in and also contact me or either Dwight Robinson to get you on the schedule to share your story. So back to Dwight.
Thank you, Spicy. That video we just saw says a lot of things in that video, but before I say anything about it, I'm gonna go to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, what's your thought about the video we just saw?
That boy need his ass whooped. You do not never disregard what somebody is telling you and ask all type of stuff like, where's the proof, when you have no proof that nothing happened. Right. He has nothing happened. And if this girl is coming to you and she's making a statement, and her statement is saying that, hey, my pops did this to me, my uncle did this to me, my brother did that to me, that young lady should be taken seriously until it's found out that she's telling a lie. So if that type of stuff is going on where the man has a daughter or has a sister or something like that, then he's not taking her seriously because she's telling him that she's been molested, and he's going to argue her up and down. I will say again, he need his ass whooped. That's my take on it.
Yes, I agree. King D, that video we just saw, how you feel about that video we just saw?
That just blows my mind. And you know, if any of my kids come to me and tell me something like that, I'm gonna choose my kid off top.
Yeah,
off top. I don't care how you feel or who whatever. I'm gonna choose my kid. And you know, and I will want to chime in and also say that when it comes to the molesting or touching kids and stuff, the law needs to be more. The law needs to be more like stern. They need to start taking it more serious when kids come out and say things. Because honestly and truly, and I'm saying this publicly, when it happened to my daughter, the only reason why he didn't go to prison, and they said, "Oh, the only thing we can do is talk to him," because they don't have no evidence.
Right.
They had no evidence, and I don't think that's fair.
No, it's not. It's not fair.
The county wanted to charge him, but the state was like, we don't have no evidence against him. We can't charge him. So they need to.
Yeah, you're right, King D. I agree with you on that, on 100. That's just crazy. I think King D is driving to his next job. Denise, how you feel about this video we just saw?
It's very common. It is sickening. And I've seen it before where the kid telling the parent that something happened to them.
Right.
What is that?
Okay.
There we go. Some of these people do the most. They love their family more than they love their siblings more than they love their own children.
Right.
and they side with the family member because they don't want to see their family member go to jail. I said time again, they don't want the family to go to jail, so they hush the child to get them to be quiet, so they don't go to jail. That fool should have been all up and down his brother's throat, neck, back, all up his foot, straight up his behind. He should have been going to jail because he beat him so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't call your own daughter a liar.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. They know it happened to her. He can say what he wants. He know it happened.
Yeah.
They know 7-year-olds sitting up there bleeding and hurting and carrying on down there. They don't hurt down there. They're babies.
Yeah, I agree. And let me say this: when a child, for you to call a child a lot. Look, kids, a lot of kids, they do have big imaginations. But let's be real, kids basically, when we little kids just simply tells the truth. If you look ugly, they're gonna say it. I mean, grown people, they'll be nice. Oh no, you look fine, but hell no, you ugly. So usually when kids say things like that, 9 out of 10, they usually tell the truth. But if a child, or especially my child, came and told me something like that, okay, let's take you to the doctor. Let's see what's going on and everything, because you that's for those people that are sitting there thinking the child is lying, or if the child is that you should go with your child and you believe your child first, but anyway, still take your child to get examined and everything. So when the child comes to you and say this, just don't, you got a big imagination, you lying. I don't think a child is gonna come out and just say something like that, especially if they say they're bleeding and then they're hurting down there, then there's something going on. That's just my thought about it. I don't think a child is gonna come up there out the blue. Let me see how I can get my daddy, my uncle, my cousin. Oh, I know. I'm gonna go lie and say they touched me down there and I'm in pain and bleeding. I don't think a child gonna do that.
No, I agree with you, but yes, it does have some children that will do, especially when they have problems already, mental problems. If they don't like somebody and they don't want a certain person to be with their mama, or they don't want a certain person to be with their daddy, they're gonna do everything they possibly can.
But you do have kids that may not like another parent and they'll lie and try to get that parent, because I have seen that when a child will say something to try to get that parent out the house and lie like that and everything. That's why you take them to the doctor and let that doctor examine them, and then the doctor don't know the truth, because if the doctor check the child and say, well, the child ain't been touched, then you know that child is lying. That's why I said take the child to the hospital, let the doctor examine them, and then if the child been touched, then you know what you got to do. Now, if the child hasn't been touched, then you ask that child, okay, what's going on? Why are you sitting here making up lies and everything? So
you gotta be careful with that too, people, because sometimes the child may not have been touched yet. They're just being groomed.
Well, yeah. Well, who's grooming the child?
Well, it depends on who it is. It could be the mother, could be father, the uncle, cousin, anybody. What I'm saying is grooming, you don't necessarily be touched yet. You're being groomed to get touched.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Now I want to ask Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, now, you still a young man, but in your younger days when you was dating, have you ever dated a woman that had kids, and did they run up to you trying to jump in your lap?
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times, but
So you told them no, huh?
I'm not dealing with that child. I'm getting off my lap. I am not your daddy. I am not your friend. Get your ass up.
Hey, that's what's up. And I'm gonna ask King D. If King D's there, King D, he ain't there. Well, let me ask you, Denise. Hey, when you in your younger days, if you met a man that had some kids, they trying to jump in your lap?
A man who had kids?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can. Well, let me ask my own.
It's kind of hard because I haven't had that many male suitors.
Well, I mean, it don't have to even be a boyfriend. It could just be a friend, a guy that has kids already, and they.
Well, I have little girls that jump in my lap, little boys that would jump on my lap. Yes, but I'm a woman. I don't think like that at all.
Well, that's okay, because women, they do things too. It just ain't the men.
Not this woman.
Okay.
Not this woman.
Yeah, because
I love children, but I love them just
There's
as.
definitely some women out there that's some crumb snatchers, though. Let's put it out there in this proper perspective. There's some women out here crumb snatching.
Well, thing is, a lot of them is not after your toddler; they're after your teenager.
I don't know about that, Denise, because you remember the story I told you about me and my brother sitting on the porch, and my brother, the little pee was hanging out there, and that lady was sitting there drooling. She was drooling like she found gold. Yeah, I mentioned that on the show. She was just sitting there drooling, licking her lips, and I was sitting there staring.
How old were y'all?
This woman at least was on her. I say between 55 and 60.
I said, how old were y'all?
Oh shoot, we was babies. Me and my brother, like maybe I say 6 years old, maybe 7.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, and she's sitting there licking her lips. And I'm sitting
Yeah, it sounds gross to you, but it happens. Like this women out there that's predators. Yeah.
It's still her saying, "Oh, little boy."
I'm gonna tell y'all right. I'm telling y'all now, y'all predators. If you are watching right now, look here. You know there's a nice warm place for you.
Well, they know that they don't care. But like Mr. Jones said, when I went to a girl's house that had kids, I did the same thing. Get off my lap. They trying to jump. I had one trying to get mad at me. Said, "But why are you on that?" I said, "Because that's not the right thing to do. You don't let your child jump in every man's lap. You just don't do that. You don't let every man come to your house and let your child jump up and down that man's lap and everything. Because some of these men, no, you just don't do that. Now, when I was younger, my grandfather, he put us on the end of his knees and used to give us those horsey rides. Knee on his knee. That's totally different.
Bluetooth disconnected.
But yeah, I told kids, no, I did not let any kids sit in my lap. They could sit next to me. They could stand next to me.
Yeah, I remember you used to play horsey with the kids.
Yeah, they'd be on the end of my knee, not in my lap. That's the difference.
That's the difference. And
that's a big difference.
It was all in play.
Oh yeah, all in play. You don't just let a child sit
right in your lap.
No, that's a big no. You just don't do that. And I understand a lot of uncles and grandfathers want to show their kids love because they used to give horsey rides on the back. But some people had bad knees; they couldn't do the horsey thing, so they used to sit them on the knee of their knee. Because my grandfather did, me and my brother and sister like that. We had fun. He was busting us up and down.
If anybody,
like Bill Cosby did on the Cosby Show. Yeah,
he had him on the end of his knee.
Yeah, on the end of the knee.
Playing horsey.
Exactly. But sitting in the lap, hell no, that's a whole different issue right there. But this is something that been going on for a long time. I mean, this is nothing new. You just have those type of people out there that are either sick in their mind, or as Denise said, they watch porno and they imagine those little kids like those women they see in the porno, and they want to fulfill their fantasy. And I just don't get it. When you got grown women out here in the corner, you can go find you a woman, go pay or whatever, and have her dress up like one of those little kids. That's what you can do. You know what? I'm gonna get me a woman, have her dress up in a school outfit, and go on and do your thing with her. Why mess with a little child and mess them up in the head?
That's the whole problem. That they have that mental fantasy about teenage girls and little girls and stuff, and I think they shouldn't even have that thought, even for a grown woman. I'm sorry, if you're dressed up as a little college student, a high school girl, the old school uniforms and stuff like that, it's the wrong thing because your mind is going on to wanting to be with a child.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna flip the script here. I'm gonna ask Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, as you growing up, have you ever had an older woman trying to do things to you before it was a time for you to do things at a certain age?
Yes, sir. I was like 14, and I've been like tall for my age always. So, so my guy's mama. Yeah. It could have been cracking, but I went on ahead and left because I respected my guy too much.
Wow. How did she?
But yeah,
if you don't mind me asking, how did she try to come on to?
Okay, so her husband was a DJ. Let's go figure. I've been around D, and her husband was in the other room. He DJing music, right? So I guess back in the time, I guess if I'm put it all the way in this perspective, I think they was getting high, right? And so she was high, and he was playing some of that old 80s, 70s disco music. And she was just in a zone, and you couldn't pull her back. And then, oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. But it happened to me.
Hey,
that happened to me.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of happened myself. As you said, a friend, his mama opened the door, and I went in the house and I asked where he was at. I think I was maybe 12, maybe 13, and she like, oh, he be home in a minute. I sent him to the store, but have you a seat there? I said, okay, ma'am. So I'm sitting there. She opened the door. Tell me why this woman come out with some see-through lingerie on. Yeah.
You want some milk and cookies?
That's what she said, actually. She did say that, though. She said, you want some milk and cookies? I ain't said nothing. My mouth was open like, what I supposed to say? Then she said,
hell up out of there.
Look, then she sat next to me, and she pulled those things out and said, have you ever been breastfeed before? And I got up and ran out the house because I was confused. I was just like, what is going on? I didn't tell my mama nothing like that. My mama, I didn't tell her. My father at that time, he was gone.
I'm sorry, but Lena Mae Robinson would have probably went over there and laid hands.
Well, yeah, she would have laid hands on it, all right. But I didn't. But needless to say, I didn't go back to my boy house, and he kept saying, "Why are you scared? Come to my house." But as we became older, I told him, I said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I hope you don't get mad. The reason I started coming to your house is because your mama was trying to give me some milk and cookies." Yeah, he said milk and cookies. When that time I went to your house and you was gone, she came out with some lingerie that was see-through, and then she popped those things out. And he said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he told me that it happened before with another friend, but they just never told nobody.
Wow.
And he said for some reason she liked young boys, like between the preteen. Yeah, she just wasn't attracted to older men her age or older men. She said that she liked young teenage boys or young boys, period. So that's why I said it's just
she's a whole big old predator.
Well, she was a predator because she was gonna show me some things. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't about no milk and cookies. So I'm just saying. So so that's why I said, it's just not me. You do have some women out there that find young little boys. Now, Tanisha, you said about that. What about so I guess women look at the porno, they look at these young boys, I guess, as school boys, and they have fantasies, I guess.
No, I see a little different. I'm sorry. Okay, so basically, like with old creatures like that, they want the little boys because they can go and go and go and go.
Wait a minute, Teresa. What you mean go? How they gonna go? They preteens. What, they don't even know what go mean?
They can go. They last longer.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They can pop it or whatever, and give them 5 minutes, they'll be back.
I don't know about that. I kind of wonder the same thing about why would some woman want a little boy when she get with a man and get all that grown beef. Why you want a Happy Meal when you can get a whole steak dinner? That's all I'm saying. So I don't get that part. I really don't. I mean, with some men, I can get it because some of them might be small in certain areas, and that's why they go up to.
No, it's not that. Them little perverts. Because I was hit on. The man almost ran into a telephone pole.
To me, that's when you was a teenager, not a little girl. You was a teenager. It's wrong, but still.
I was still only 16. Get
okay, man, that's what I'm saying. There's a big difference between a 15 and a 7-year. I mean, it's wrong.
But what I'm saying is, I was underage, Dwight. Come on now. It doesn't.
That's why I said it's wrong either way. Think about this. Think about this. You now come on. Let's use logic. There's a big difference between a 7-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl.
Let me go further back. When I was about 11 years old, All those perverts trying to holler at my little 11-year-old stuff at the convenience at our little family store. Always sitting outside over there licking their old man lips, trying to holler at the little girls.
Yeah. Wrong is wrong, but see, let me take you from a man point of view. Wrong is wrong, because the child's underage. If they, but I'm trying to make you understand. See, because I know those type of perverts. When you see a girl that's around 15 and that's more developed, she got boobs, she got behind and everything. Even though she's 15, she may have a body of a 20 or 25-year-old. This is where most of these men sit there like, oh yeah, I can do a lot with that. It's still wrong because a girl's 15 compared to a girl that doesn't have the maturity yet and womanhood yet. That's a two different things. The age is wrong regardless of the situation, but this is why most of these men, because I had a friend one time that saw some young ladies, and these girls were maybe I said 15, 14, and said, oh look, they fine, they sex. I looking like
they ain't
you know these are babies, right? I don't care if they out there, they got this body now, but wrong is wrong. You don't look at girls like that. Nope. I hear the music playing, so we're gonna be back with the last word, but we're gonna be back. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Yes.
With predator behavior, y'all see how my daughter's sitting on my lap? Like, she's sitting off to the side. You feel me? Predators, a predator, like, know the difference. You feel me? This is no area for a young female. You feel me? Especially if you're not her dad. Like, that's even more so for you not even much put a child on your lap. You feel me? Y'all pay attention to these type of signs, like.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We will be discussing the stolen inheritance. And then also we're going to want to make sure that we come in because Dwight will be joining our group tomorrow. Celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in live with us as we celebrate with him his birthday. So, we're going to have a good time tomorrow. Also, make sure you get your entry in if you want to break your silence. And now we're going to hand it over to Dwight.
Yeah. Another old, I'm getting old there. But anyway, it's a blessing to still be here. That video that we just saw with that young man, I agree with him 100%. He had his daughter sitting on his leg. She wasn't like in the middle of his lap in the crouch area. And that's the dad. And I agree with him on that. Mr. Jones, how do you feel about that video we just saw?
I mean, again, to me, it's like, to each his own. For me, I just don't want my kids sitting like that. I mean, if it ain't picture day or something like that, we ain't taking family pictures and that. I'm not gonna put my babies there. I sit my daughter real close next to me, and we can talk, or I sit my nieces next to me like that. Now, if they're like 5 months old, something like that, where they can't be handled, set up like that, propped up, then yeah. But once a baby is old enough to walk and talk, set that baby on the side. That's just my opinion on it. That keeps all the BS out the way.
Exactly. You know what, Mr. Jones, I agree with you. Even though that the young man in the video, that was his daughter, he had it on the that was a prime example what he did and not had the girl in the middle. But I agree with you also because, like I said, I'm old school. I would rather have my daughter sit next to me, a chair, sitting in the lab. Sometimes that's just something that, most men do not feel comfortable, don't want that situation. But the young man in that video, he had his daughter on his leg, not in the middle. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. Jones. I'm with you on that 100%. 100. Now, Denise, how did you feel about that video we just saw with that young man with his daughter?
Yeah, I've seen that before, and yeah, it's. I'm kind of like in the mix on that one right there. I don't think it's appropriate either way it goes. I mean, I understand what he's saying and I get it, but because I was a young person, I've seen this behavior in the past. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Okay, I get you now, and I agree with you too. Now, one person we haven't heard from, and she know I'm going to answer that question. Spicy, I know you're listening. How did you feel about that video we just saw?
I agree and I disagree.
Okay.
I feel like a little girl shouldn't be on no man's lap, period. You know, especially at that age, you know, as well as sitting next to him, you know, because I did share, I think it was with you and Honey, about experience I had with one of my dad's best friends.
Right.
And I was very uncomfortable. And you know, my thing is that we need to be more observant with our children, and we have our children around, because you can't say that you actually know a person, especially if it's a sister or brother, because you really don't know them like you think you do.
You're absolutely right, and I agree with Mr. Jones. I agree with Denise and you too, Spicy. It's just better not to have the kids in your lap like that, and you know. But we just had so much of this going on, and it's just sad that it's happening even more often than usual. You're having young kids getting molested on an everyday basis, and it's just sad that you got a lot of sick people out here that look at kids like that in a sexual way, men or woman. And all I can do is just pray for those young babies, and hopefully they get help. And hopefully somebody in their family will see that and help the children. And when the child tell you something, y'all believe it. Just don't think that every child is lying, or every child has a bad have imagination. And if you won't be sure, take that child to the doctor. So with that being said, I want to hear from the whole group. I'll start with Denise, and then I'm going to give Mr. Jones the floor to give us the final word. So, Denise, you have anything left to say?
Yes, I do. Parents, if you're out, I mean, you're mom, especially. It usually is the moms, but it's both parents. But most I'm focusing on those mothers that hear their daughters or sons saying that they feel uncomfortable around a certain person. Believe them. They're not lying about not feeling uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable. You should investigate this. Be vigilant with your children. Don't put their mental health at risk like that. Just be very vigilant with these children. If they're telling you that they feel uncomfortable with uncle whatever, or auntie whatever, or cousin whatever, why do you need to bring them around if they're not comfortable with them?
Yeah, that's true.
Why? Why do you need to do that?
All right, yeah, that's true. And Mr. Jones, we're gonna go to you for the final thought of the day. What you got to say to the people out there about the topic we talked about today?
I think that if you don't pay attention to history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Oh, amen.
And as people, as King D said earlier, do you notice how a lot more children are coming out, or a lot more adults are coming out, and they're saying like, okay, this has happened to me, that's happened to me, things of that nature. If you're not paying attention to your children will one day be in your shoes saying what happened to them. So if your children is telling you what's going on, I think that it is not only your responsibility, I think not only is it your assignment, but it is your duty to pay attention to an allegation like that, whether true or false, because this is your child. You bring the child into the world, and God assigned you with safeguarding the children at all costs. And with that said,
oh, you know what? I want to add on to that. What you just said, Mr. Jones, that there's no such thing as what goes on in this house stays in this house. Throw that stuff out the window. Throw it out.
Yeah, well, I just want to say this has been a very great show. You know, we you know, it's just a sad world out here. I appreciate Mr. Jones, King D, Denise, thank you for coming on. This has been a very great show. And like Mr. Jones and Denise, everybody said, y'all, pay attention to the kids. And just like Mr. Jones said, we're here to protect the children. I mean, that's what we're here for. Our children or any children. If your child is crying out for help, talk to that child. Or to get that child help or something like that. If the child cry about being in pain, take that child to the hospital because that child could be being molested. You just don't know. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great Friday night. And like Spotty said, be here tomorrow. We're going to have a show for y'all. And we just wish y'all a good night and see you tomorrow. God bless. Peace out.
So let's come on tomorrow. Tune in 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that we can sit up here and show our host some love for his birthday. So make sure that y'all tune in live, set your notification, and come on, show up and show out for our host of the show. Y'all have a great night. Be blessed and be safe out there. Much love.
Much love, y'all. Much love.